It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show, brought to you on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We come to you each and every day with nothing but news of our world of HBCU sports. Of course, we cover everything and everyone from the rooter to the tutor. But if I had to pick one, it would be my beloved Prairie View A&M University Panthers that we are the hostess with the mostest on. Welcome. Of course, our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network, the website obnradio.com, and our 24-hour dial-in message center, 713-570-6736. And without any further delay, we'll jump right into today's episode. Today's episode is made possible by attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street in Hempstead, Texas. For an appointment today, dial 979-826-8008. It appears that I have awakened the sleeping giant. I got a letter from Brother Lonnie Davis, and I'm going to have to come up with a nickname for Brother Davis. But this letter, I will jump right in. It was in regards of yesterday's episode, where it was the warning episode, talked about the attendance, this, that, and the other. And, of course, I have an open door policy, transparent policy. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Brother Lonnie has shared his thoughts on paper, as he does so poetically. He's a beautiful writer, in my own humble opinion. So I'll get right into this. It is, of course, dated on March 13th, 2019, and I received this at 9:54 p.m. And is simply entitled Today's Show. And there are a couple of quotes. It says, "The world doesn't need any more mediocrity or hedged bets." Anne Rice was quoted for saying that. And then it says, "To support mediocrity is to invite more of it." And that was by Lonnie B. Davis, unquote. And then another quote says, "The burden is on the provider of the product to provide a desirable product. Consumers of products are not obliged to consume or support undesirable products." Lonnie B. Davis, unquote. And the letter starts off as such. It says, "Good evening, Mike. I'll take the bait." I don't know what the bait is, Brother Lonnie, but okay. He said, "I'll take the bait. On today's show, you again compared the current men's basketball team's 20-win record to the 20-win record of the 1962 National Championship team. In my opinion, that is still not a valid comparison for a number of reasons. Reason number one, the 1962 team's 20 wins were against conference teams comprised of the best black coaches and student athletes, and includes 5 consecutive wins against championship TWI. Normally we say PWI, but PWI would be predominantly white schools, and I am assuming, I could be wrong, but the TWI will be totally white schools. Maybe Brother Lonnie can verify that for me. Anyway, it says that we're in the national tournament for a national championship. The current team's 20 wins were predominantly against mediocre conference teams, being 3 teams with a 55% winning percentage, 1 team with a 50% winning percentage, 4 other teams with a losing record and only one with a respectable winning conference percentage of 78%. The current team won an 11 record against the TWI teams and has a zero probability that the current team will win a national championship. In other regards, it is surprising that even 580 fans showed up to see the number one seed to play a twice previously defeated eighth seed with a losing record get blown out yet again. I recall that even the 2003 team had no problem selling out the Baby Dome, even when the students were not on the campus. Why was that the case? The reason was that the conference was then made up of better coaches and student athletes. Compare attendance at last night's game with the attendance of Prairie View's first round game of 2003, and please report what you find. To again paraphrase my late high school homeroom teacher, strive not for alumni to attend basketball games, rather strive to provide basketball games worthy of alumni attending. Last night's game against the twice previously defeated 8th seed team with a losing record was not worthy of the alumni attending. So they voted for improvement with their non-attendance. Go Panthers. Lonnie. You know, I'm here's what I'm thinking. I feel like the 5 heartbeats. I got nothing but love for you. And in regards to that, I think we're going to dub you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network as Uncle Lonnie. And here's why I say that. Lonnie Davis is one of those that speaks from his heart. He speaks with clarity, or should I say writes with clarity, or speaks with clarity as well. He's been on this show. He will say what he believes in his heart, and I cannot do anything but respect him for that. And so in that regard, you will now be officially known as Uncle Lonnie from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Because Brother Davis is going to tell you how it is, and maybe you've been to a family reunion or just have family member, and you always got that one uncle who said, no, y'all couldn't hold a candle to us. Y'all couldn't do anything that we ever did. And no matter how good you are, you'll never be better than what they were. And I'll respect that. Now, 2 different eras. I was not yet even born in 1962. That was 5 years prior to me landing on planet Earth. So I'm not going to argue that fact, but I am going to try to clear up something. Number one, I've never compared the 1962 team to the 2019 team. What I did say was that what the 2019 team has achieved has not been achieved since 1962, which can't do anything but show homage and respect to the 1962 team. However, whether you like the product that's being presented or not, it still has to show some merit and credibility of respect for what the 2019 team has accomplished, with or without, in your opinion, the better talent and better coaching staff. Regardless of what their opponents' winning records were. That's not our problem. Our problem or challenge is to beat whoever is laid up in front of you. And yes, they went 1-11 in the non-conference run. Okay, a rough start, but we've acknowledged that they're playing with the lesser tier athlete on today's market. So with that being said, you still want to see and play the games of effort to the best of your ability. And when you go back and you look at those games, I don't try to reward losing. I've never rewarded losing. But however, I think there was only one or two games that there was actually a blowout in those non-conference 1-11 starts. For the most part, they were somewhat competitive. But that's neither here nor there. I will give you the upper hand. If we had to line up the teams from 1962 to 2019, okay, 1962 will win. Your era will win. Yay, Uncle Lonnie. It still does not negate what these young men have accomplished in the year of 2019. So I've never compared the teams. I've acknowledged the team for stepping in territory that had not been achieved in such a time of 58 years. And that is worthy of acknowledgement. That is totally worthy of acknowledgement. I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I fell in love with Pittsburgh in 1972. And if you recall, the 1970 Pittsburgh Steelers were chosen team of the decade. Those 70s teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers won a championship 2008. Totally different teams. And I believe that the 77s, 79 teams were a bit more physical, a bit more tougher. They played under different sets of rules. But it still doesn't negate the fact that the Steelers were the champions. And that's all that I'm saying about the 2019 Panthers basketball squad. Regardless if you don't like their style of play, regardless if you think they're quote unquote weak, you are entitled to that. But let's not chop down what has been accomplished. Another factor that we need to understand, yes, Prairie View won the national championship, but it was also NAIA championship. Totally different division. And we know that the probabilities of Prairie View winning the national championship are remotely small, but it still doesn't negate the fact that we should celebrate what they've accomplished. That was factor number one. Factor number two, you said the reason to that, at the time, Southwestern Athletic Conference had better coaches and better student athletes. I think we had already acknowledged that. Yes, you got a premier talent playing in your Power Fives. Understand that. You got coaches making a lot more money on the Power Five scales. Understand that. But we still have to dress out a team. We still have to have someone to coach them. And we still expect them to win. And if I'm playing against the School of the Blind, and before anyone gets offended, I am legally blind, so don't start writing me a bunch of hate mail. But if I'm playing the School of the Blind, if they dressed up a team and said they accept the challenge of playing whomever that is, it is my job to win. It's my job to win. I hear you loud and clear, Uncle Lonnie, but let's not kill the spirits of what these young men have accomplished. I've already cried uncle. Yes, 1962 was a different place, a different time, a different era, a different breed. But the goal was the same. Win as many games as you can until the season is over. So with that being said, it's still inexcusable for the attendance to be the way it was. And speaking of attendance, you made a reference to compare the first round 2003 attendance to this week's attendance in the first round. And there is no comparison. In fact, it was close to 4,000 people that attended that first round game. No comparison. None whatsoever. You have no argument with me. And for the record, that was a game that I still say, with the proper planning, should be able to attract 4,000 people when you have an opportunity of reaching at minimum 50 to 60,000 people just within the county ranks. But that's a whole nother subject. We're not talking about that today. We're just addressing this particular case right now. And finally, I clearly and profoundly stated that there were 4 parts to this missing puzzle. Alumni was part 1. Staff was part 2. Community was part 3. Student body was part 4. We know that for the most part, student body was on vacation, but that still gives me 3/4 of the puzzle to fill 4,000 seats. It's still not excusable. I get it. Some people will never be satisfied with the bottom line product. There's going to always be a hitch or a glitch of why people won't do. I get that. I'm not naive to that. But there's no way on God's green earth you can tell me that between the alumni base, and I'll state it again, that is within a 50-mile radius, community, and staff, that you couldn't get 4,000 people to fill that arena. I'm not buying that one. For whatever the reasons may be, we still got to look at the man in the mirror and ask and challenge ourselves personally, what can I do to make the situation better? Yes, you can point at what other folk are not doing and why you won't do, but the bottom line is, what can I do to make the situation better? I know what Prairie View means to the likes of Uncle Lonnie. I know what Prairie View means to Mike Prince. I know what Prairie View means to the majority of you who listen to this show. So the challenge is, what can you do to make the situation better? Things are not going to always go the way we would desire them to go. I'm living proof of that right now. I could tell you stories right now that would make your head spin on the treatment or quote unquote non-treatment that I've received. But I try to look at the big picture. Regardless of how I'm handled, regardless of how you respond or not responding to me, does not negate that I am still a proud product and productive person of Prairie View A&M University. And I will continue to sound my trumpet and beat my little drum until the sweet Savior himself calls me home. Would you like it if your peers were to support and be honest that say you are speaking truth? Of course. But even if they don't, it's not going to stop the cause of the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Uncle Lonnie, I hope I have answered some of your concerns. And I think I'm going to have to get you on here pretty soon so we could hear your words rather than me read your words. We still have some basketball to be played. Prairie View arrived in Birmingham on yesterday. Stage is set for tournament action starting tomorrow, Friday, 2:30. The Panthers will be hosting the Grambling State Tigers. Tip-off time will start at 2:30 Central Standard Time. You can listen right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, obnradio.com. Go to our live broadcast page and voila, hit the player and enjoy the game. Our crew are chopping at the bit, ready to go. And we are ready to listen to some Panther and SWAC basketball. We still are in the market of receiving your phone calls, questions, or comments. That phone number is 713-570-6736. Call in, leave your information, questions, comments, or concern. All that we ask is that you're entitled to say and do whatever you want to. Just be respectful. No profanity. You can say what you want to say, how you want to see it. And we don't believe in putting a muzzle on the ox. But we're not going to allow you to spew out F-bombs and things of that nature. Uncle Lonnie, we have nothing but love for you. And I know you have love for Prairie View A&M University. And maybe we'll agree to disagree on today's topic, but it does not negate the fact that I'm still PV proud and I'm rooting for PVU. Panthers getting it on starting tomorrow. I must exit stage left. I want to thank Attorney Lee Van Richardson from Hempstead, Texas, being a part of today's broadcast. Prairie View Athletic Club. Don't forget to get in contact with Brother Dino Robinson for the Panther Backers annual golf tournament, May 6th. Brother Dino can be reached at 713-417-2090. Call him today, get registered, support Panthers athletics, whether you're near or far. I've got to go. I love you, PV Nation. Until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.